Oh, so I couldn't think of an interesting title for this stream, so I guess we'll just talk about whatever, really. Sorry for not streaming yesterday. Yesterday was one of those days where I might have been able to have streamed, but what ended up happening was I was out at a friend's all day because I ended up being there longer than I thought I was going to be. I didn't really have time to stream when I got home, and I was actually really tired yesterday. I think because last weekend was the first weekend in ages I'd actually been at work. You know, I ended up being quite tired on the Monday because it's weird if you've been in lockdown doing nothing for ages. When you're back to work, it's kind of exhausting. Although I did enjoy being back to work because, you know, it's nice actually doing something when you've been stuck at home, not able to do anything for so long. But good evening, everybody that's joining. I'm good, Bowlingtowski, thank you. So just to let everybody know, today I'm streaming obviously now. Tomorrow I will stream earlier in the day because I won't be able to stream in the evening. So if I don't stream tomorrow in the afternoon, I won't get a chance to do it in the evening. So tomorrow will probably be between 12 and 2 p.m. I'm good, thanks, Mike. Yeah, that was crazy Schwabble Wobble, wasn't it? I assume it was like a load and load of explosive material was stored in the building. But yeah, it was kind of like watching the old nuke test videos of how fast the pressure wave came out. So today we buried my grandma's ashes. That was quite nice. You know, obviously sad, but, you know, it was nice because we made her a nice little sort of plot to go in and that. Well, I mean, if you have a factory full of fireworks or a warehouse full of fireworks and it sets on fire, it's not good, is it? Is that the crazily big chemical explosion they had in China, Keeper? Yeah, they had somebody on news who was like a former army demolitions bloke who was saying it didn't look like it was military explosives because of the colour of the smoke. But he said, you know, obviously it was lots and lots of material stored there, judging by just how big the... You'd need a combination filter, QAZ Gaming, because mustard gas is a blister agent. So I think technically it would be an inorganic vapor, but you just want a filter that's way more competent. You'd also want a mask, more importantly, that's made from a strong rubber, because blister agents eat into rubber. I'm all right, Fox Sickness, thank you. So I'm just going to finish off this bottle of wine because it's pretty low. So, preppers and wild, you have to wear a mask in the UK full stop now. If you go into shops, use public transport, anything like that. Weirdly, the video I filmed today is what masks I've currently been using out and about. You know, and I've said basically in the video, it will depend how long I'm going to be around. Because, you know, if I'm just going into one shop briefly to pick up an item, you know, buy it and leave, I just wear the alpha mesh. If I'm going out for longer, I wear a proper face respirator. But thanks for all the condolences, everybody. As said, the funeral was last week, but, you know, it's a bit of closure today, I suppose. When you say Sheen's gas mask, you mean the Shums. If you've got one in good condition, it is a good mask. The issue is, if you're thinking of Soviet masks from like the 70s and 80s, there's lots of parts that could have worn out on them. But thanks, everybody. I'll show you actually a picture if you want to see one of what the actual like grave site looks like, if you want to call it that. Just because some people might want to see it. But there we go. It's probably too bright to see it properly, but there's a rose tree we planted there and the flowers and some sort of, you know, like stuff around the outside of it. But, you know, it's just kind of a nice thing to do, I suppose, because it means my granddad can go out there and sit there if he wants to, you know. But yeah, thank you for all the nice messages, because I had some twat saying FFF, you know, on the, you know, a few streams ago, but I'm deleting the guy that's been spamming a stupid, like, not question throughout the stream. It depends what you mean by most versatile gas mask, because in general, I think you just want a mask with a good panoramic, you know, view, a good voice diaphragm. All right, AK-47. Yeah. Like, at the moment, one of my favourite masks is actually this one, the Chinese MF11D. Now, I said that's a custom blanking plug I made for it, so if it looks a bit crap, this isn't one that comes with a mask, it's just a custom one I did. But this is a very good mask in terms of, like, field of view, has an alright voice diaphragm and everything else. I've already stripped the tube, Keaton. It's literally something on the circuit board, as I've said. Other than it just going away on its own, there's not much I can do. But good evening, everybody. Hope you're all right. I've got a load of shit coming in the post tomorrow. Well, from Amazon tomorrow, because annoyingly, my Victorine 450, it seems the batteries have run out, because I probably accidentally left it on at one point. Oh, wait, it's turned on again. But I imagine it's not going to last very long, because I think the batteries have run down. You can probably see the screen is really faint now. Yeah, and it's gone off again. So yeah, I've bought a load of rechargeable 9 volts. For it, and then I'll recharge those and then put those in there, so if I accidentally leave it on at some stage. I've tried loads of stuff like that, Marcus. Unfortunately, it just doesn't seem to work. There's a lot less contamination on it than there was, but yeah. At some point, I might just buy a standard Therapy rather than the Therapy Plus, because they're cheaper anyway, and they actually come up with, like, the, you know, they have a kind of more different display. It's hard to explain. But yeah, so what I need to do, I'll probably need a little knife, won't I, to do this? Where is it? I've never tried swapping M10, MP4 filters and all those, but in theory you could probably bodge them pretty easily. I really need a knife rather than pliers. I do hate how this battery compartment works on this. It's literally, there's Allen keys in there that hold the battery covers on. Brilliant design. Why not just have a standard battery cap? But you know. Have I got a little tiny screwdriver somewhere handy? Because the problem is a lot of the time I don't just keep things like that handy because they're all like put away in a drawer. Actually, this is a drawer I keep the screwdrivers in. There we go. So you essentially hook out the Allen keys. There you go. Then you can get the battery compartments open. And it shoots the batteries out pretty fast. But yeah, it's just 9 volts going there. So I think what's happened with these, wherever the other 9 volt fell on the floor, is that they've just pretty much, you know, drained. So yeah, I'll get some rechargeable 9 volts to put in there. But yeah, it's a weird battery compartment design. I don't mind the fact that they're in the handle. It's just you think they'd have made a better battery holder design rather than you have a spring-loaded cover that's literally held on by Allen keys. It's like, who came up with that design? It's not clever. I need to put these somewhere I won't lose them, so I'll put them there. And then tomorrow the new 9 volt should come, and I'll try that. But let's see how drain these are. Yeah, it's barely shocking me. But yeah, 9 volts are fun because you can put them on your tongue and electrocute your tongue. But yeah, not that I'd recommend doing that. But yeah, these are definitely very low 9 volts because they're not really shocking my tongue. There may have been scientific ones, Dan. I really don't know what Geiger counter or like spectrometer or ionization chamber the Soviets might have had that would have gone that high. Now, there was the bit where Sitnikov says it maxed out 200 Rontgen. That is actually the DP5 scale. Because Soviet DP5s do, in fact, max out at 200 Rontgen. So if I just get this, I might put the thing back in its case probably in a minute. But if you get a Soviet DP5 meter, there's the 200 switch, which is the max one, and that's 200 Rontgen per hour, which is the max reading. So that's so the bit where they go, it maxed out 200 Rontgen, that is Soviet DP5 series Geiger counters. But I really don't know if they actually had one that went as high as 15,000 or whatever. I really don't know if MC1 filters contain asbestos or not, but I'd say probably don't use them due to the age of the filter. So I might as well put that bit away to make it a bit tidier. I'm going to have to dismantle the handle from it. Don't spam the chat, people, because an admin might, like a mod might block you. And I'm not going to go and undo blocks if people are just spamming the chat with pointless things. So you've been warned. I need to get this bit to go down there. There we go. And then this bit is the bit that sticks out of that little bit there. Not perfect, but there you go. That's how it stores its probe in there. Fatal in literally a minute, Keaton. But yeah. This still powers on because I've got batteries in it, and obviously you can use it with the probe stored in there. Oh, that's not very reassuring, is it? Let's check it's been set properly. Alright, that's better. It's not going off the scale now for no reason. That sounds good. I'm looking forward to watching that and clicking it, Mike, and then going back and doing different options. This one didn't. The more modern DP5, the DP5B, there's no DP5V, isn't it? The modern green one. That did, because it has its check source actually in the handle. The strontium 90 is like hidden in the handle because you twist it on to make the check sources. Boxes on the wall, I assume you're looking at those two. Soviet DP3 ionization chamber vehicle mounted radiation detector. So Polish DP66 Geiger counter vehicle mounted radiation detector. Both of them have probes that essentially are wired in, so that's the reason that one's not got the wires on it at the moment. To the big actual probes that go on them, and you'd mount those on the front of vehicles or the back of the vehicles or wherever. Yeah, Daniel, people have asked that like 10 times on this stream already. Yes, I saw it. Condolences to all the people involved, I guess, but it was a fucking crazy explosion, wasn't it? Also, for people saying historically, what did I pay for a certain thing? I have no fucking clue, because if I bought something 5 years ago, I'm not going to remember the price, other than if it was a reasonable price, But yeah, that's the Soviet DP5, really cool Geiger counter. Doesn't want to sit. Yeah, I was saying, wasn't I? I've got a load of stuff coming tomorrow. So tomorrow I've got 9-volt batteries coming, rechargeable ones for the thing. I found some single malt whiskey I thought I'd try on Amazon, see if it's any good, but I was like 26 quid a bottle. But we'll see if it's any good. What was the other thing I've got coming tomorrow? Oh, a breathalyzer. I wanted to get a breathalyzer to see how drunk I get, which I thought would be interesting, just as, like a thing. I know that, like, cheap digital breathalyzers you buy on Amazon aren't that accurate, but I just thought it'd be interesting to see, like, trend-wise. And then Thursday I've got a new bed coming, because my mattress is getting a bit shit. So I thought what I might do is just buy a fold-out camping bed, because weirdly I find sleeping on harder surfaces is easier than sleeping on a proper mattress. So I've just bought like a fold-out camping bed. So, it means I could put it in my car if I want to and take it somewhere. And it means I can just put it in the other room when I want to sleep. Yeah, you can get them for like 15 quid now, Mike, because Bart's dad was saying to me yesterday, he's saying, like, obviously they're not as good as expensive ones, but he said they still show you, the trend. So he says, like, the more drinks you have, the numbers do go up, and people who haven't had any drinks will always show up as 0 or like 0.001 or whatever. So he said they're good in that regard. He said he wouldn't completely trust it, if it was something, and you shouldn't really anyway have a drink and a drive, even if you're under the limit, but he was saying, it's an interesting thing to have, just if you want to have a rough idea of how much you've had to drink. In theory, Schwubble Wobble, yes, because that's how bunkers used to work, although you technically want it to be positive pressure, because that's an easier way of doing it. But yeah, they're like £10 on Amazon now, Mike. I think I got one that was a more expensive one just because it looked a bit better. Thank you, Lucas. But yeah, I think you can get like good ones now for 40 to 50 quid, but like ones that are all right if you just want to get a rough idea of, you know, how much your breath alcohol is for like 15 quid. But again, it's just like a lot of the things like the pulse oximeters for your finger, you know, it just gives you a rough idea when sometimes you don't know. And, you know, apparently they're interesting because people who are, you know, quite good at keeping their alcohol down, you know, they can come up with quite high readings even when they seem pretty normal. You know, and then you get other people, if they're really lightweight, that can have one drink, barely register on the breathalyzer, but still be, you know, pissed out of their head. Anyway, let's finish off this bottle now because there's not much left in it. So I'm sure somebody will screen cap this for a picture because it will look awful, but there we go. Yes, sturgeon ship posting. This is like the 15th time it's been mentioned. What do you mean by impression kits, bruv? I wouldn't really want to dress up as servicemen or anything like that. The fact I can do that with 40% spirits now isn't really anything to be proud of. I mean, that was just wine, but, you know. But yeah, I haven't really got any more military stuff coming anytime soon. I don't think I'm very drunk at the moment, Keaton's like, I know Bionerd is. She's the German girl, isn't she, with short hair? Does all the radiation videos. I think she's actually a physicist, isn't she? But she hasn't uploaded in a while. But what was interesting, I took this round to show Bart this yesterday, and he's got a few radioactive things, nothing very strong. He's got a radium dial I gave him, but, you know, not a very strong radium dial, like one of those dials that just has a tiny bit of radium paint on it. A thorium lamp mantle I gave him, and some americinium 241. And you had to literally put every single one of those bits surrounding the probe on this to actually get it to go to 0.0001. No, I've done a video, someone showing it does not produce X-rays. It's complete bullshit, the people who say that. In theory, any CRT thing gives off a tiny amount of X-rays, but I couldn't pick it up with quite a sensitive low-range Geiger when I tested it. So I would say, you know, don't worry about it. So yeah, let's see if I can get a reading more easily using some stuff on here. We'll turn the speaker down because that's quite loud and annoying. There you go. Oh yeah, because that was from the reactor that did that. But I've got this on the wrong way around. Let's see what gamma some torbanite gives off. I won't even bother taking out the case because I don't need to. So let's have that there. Let's put this here. Is that going to be close enough? Yeah, so I can get more radiation readings of this little torbanite rock doing that with it than Bart could get with all his samples put together, right, surrounding the probe, which is quite funny. You can apparently get them, Daniel, with alpha probes, but this one has the standard military probe on it, which is for like high energy gamma and X-rays, because it's quite a thick steel probe. Because interestingly, when you first turn this on, it displays micrograys per hour, centigrays per hour, and counts per second. And Surviving the Apocalypse apparently thinks that depending on which probe you've got with it is which measurement it displays. If you're referring to this, this is a Plessy. I've got a video coming out on it. Well, technically this is a Siemens, but a Siemens PDRM82D. The old regular PDRM82 is hanging up there. But this was Britain's sort of military Geiger counter for around the sort of early 2000s period. Let's see how much torbanite registers with it. Not torbanite, autunite and torbanite. I just did torbanite, didn't I? But the interesting thing is, like, Fiestaware doesn't even register on this, barely, because it's not high enough energy. So let's turn that around so you can see the numbers. And then let's pop this here. Oh, I've got on the wrong side, haven't I? There we go. I suppose if I put it this side, it'll get a higher reading, because that's closest to the tube. There we go. Yeah, this is what I find funny with this. If I put these back, so obviously we had like between 5 and 10 on those sort of samples. If I decide to do a thing with Fiestaware, despite how crazy Fiestaware goes on lots of Geigers, you might notice with this that you can literally put that right on there, and it stays pretty much at 0. And the reason for that is, as I've said before in videos, but I still always find this interesting, is that the gamma energy coming off of Fiestaware is really low in actual like energy in terms of a spectrum. So you know, it doesn't penetrate very well. Even if it gives off lots of beta and everything, it's not very good at penetrating hardened steel. I just find that quite interesting, because this is quite a good Geiger at telling you like how dangerous gamma rays are. Yeah, well, that's the thing, Keaton. I think this probably goes up to 300 centigrade. Because the PDRM82 goes up to 300 centigrade. Let's see if this can get set off by the plasma ball. I don't know if it will or not. Let's see. That'll be an interesting thing to find out. Right, so flick on the plasma ball, turn it on, and let's see what sort of reading we get if it does go off on it. Right, so it's 0 centigrade here, as you'd expect. Yeah, there we go. Oh, it goes to 99999. Does the decimal place move? No. So 0.99999 centigrade would be... So does this only go up to 1 centigrade, essentially? That's not very high. So yeah, 0.0000. Actually, I suppose the first bit there, if we ignore the point bit there, that would be like 1 centigrade, wouldn't it? So it'd be 9.999 centigrade. But yeah, that doesn't go as high as I thought it would. So that's a bit disappointing. But I suppose it doesn't at least conk out, does it, if it's going at really high levels, where the problem is that some Geigers literally will, you know, just say, oh, it's 0 radiation. Yeah, it's due to basically the frequency of the electricity doing it. But it's good if you want to just see how high Geiger counters go, because I've seen very few Geiger counters that don't go crazy if you put a plasma ball on them. What do you mean by if you've got it set up down, just keep it as it is, because it will basically alert you, won't it, if anything goes wrong? Right, Andy? 3 Mile Island wasn't really covered up just in vapor, and it wasn't very serious because the external exposure was something like 3 to 10 millirontgen per hour. It was tiny. You can't really even compare 3 Mile Island to Windscale and Chernobyl. We learnt very good things from 3 Mile Island, like, you know, better reactor design, but because they built a containment building around it, it wasn't that serious. No, it depends on what tube you're using, Bolding Telsky, but the DP5s on those normally go to about 50 to 100 Rontgen, generally, I find on those. I can see that message, Radioactive Cow. I didn't see any earlier ones. I've done a video on that already, Hardrummer. Fukushima was nowhere near as bad as Chernobyl. It was bad. It wasn't near as bad as Chernobyl. There's no point me getting any more Alex unless they come down really cheap, because I just buy old school guns now. You know, the ones that are not classed as guns by the UK government, despite the fact they're guns. I am having a good evening, Military and Surplus YouTube. I just finished off a bottle of wine, so I feel good. Weirdly, Hardrummer, the best thing I found for radiation so far is these things. The thermoplastics they use in these. As well as it being really good against bullets, these are really, really good against radiation when I've put probes inside them and the source on the outside. Thank you very much, Apache64. Or AH64 even, Apache. I don't think so, Military and Surplus YouTube. Repeat them, but word them slightly differently. Oh, again, people bringing up Lebanon. Yes, condolences to all the people involved. Right, don't hide people for mentioning the thing that's in the news today, but, you know, it doesn't need to keep being brought up over and over and over again on this stream. You know, I feel bad for the people involved because it was in a civilian area, wasn't it? So literally everybody who's been injured or killed or whatever are just civilians or had their houses destroyed. Okay, Marcus, yeah, it's just getting quite annoying, I will be honest, on this stream where everybody's like, oh, did you see the explosion? It's like, yes, it's been brought up several times this stream. Post-COVID, yes. This year, if I get time to do it, I want to go to C-scale and take some readings there, which is like Britain's horrible nuclear accident, where we contaminated a massive area making nuclear weapons. Oh, let me search that. I'm very interested, Straight Six Diesel. So BDRM 2NRS. Let's have a look at this. Is there any actual info on the actual like NBC gear of it? Because I saw there was the thing that was saying, like, you know, on Google the NBC bit, but because again, it says that the Soviets used them, but I can't find much about the measurements it could do. No, I'm not selling anything, Giovanni. I've got a working CDV 700, but it's in a box over there, and I'm not getting it out. Hello, Chris. Oh, yeah, but Chernobyl is a lot more interesting, isn't it, Yorkshire Tom? Let's be honest. Not anymore, Chris, because I just got fed up with it after loads of updates. Like, same reason I got fed up with TF2, because I find with those games, once you get too many updates coming out that keep rebalancing the game, I just kind of lose interest in them. Torin says, what is a cheap older Geiger counter? I'm looking for one for my birthday, but I can't. But I want one that makes a clicking sound. Sorry, I don't know much about them. What country are you in, Torin? Because often what you can find for good prices depends on where you are. So when you reply, Torin, I might be able to come up with an answer for you. USA, the CDV 700 then. Sadly, I can't get my US CDV 700 out because it's in the box there and it'd be a lot of effort. But that's the yellow one that goes from 0 to 50 milliröntgen per hour. And you can put quite a beefy speaker on them that clicks. They normally run off 4D batteries. They're normally very cheap in the US, at least, and they're cool old Geigers. But if you Google US CDV 700 Geiger counter, that's probably your cheapest choice, and it's a cool one. I've already done that, Chris. I did that like 2 years ago. Can you search my channel, please, before asking questions? I don't want to sound like I'm being a dick with that. It's just it gets quite frustrating when people keep asking me to do videos on stuff I've already done. Latex is a type of rubber. You're starting to sound like a troll now because you're asking things like, what is latex? Hungarian M70. Let's have a look. I've got a Hungarian helmet, but I don't know which one it is off the top of my head. The one I've got is the one with the double bit, so it looks like the Hungarian M53 is the one I've got, not the M70. The thing is, Yorkshire Tom, Pripyat isn't that contaminated nowadays just because nearly everything was cleaned up. Obviously, the inside of the number 4 reactor is really, really dangerously active. The basement of Pripyat Hospital, where the firefighters' gear is stored or dumped, is really, really active. There's a few other spots that are like dangerously active, like, you know, where they dumped all the old military vehicles after contamination and lots of things like that. But for the most part, most of the area around Pripyat is just only slightly above background radiation. I suppose that would only make a difference though, Hardrimmer, if it was one that was, you know, like a filter on the satchel, because even one that sits like there wouldn't make much difference in terms of inverse square law. Right, no problem, Torin. But yeah, US CDV 700s will probably be the cheapest one you can find. You just put a decent speaker on it, and it goes click, 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 very loud. I've never seen any clips of them for sale easily, Daniel, but they are cool. They're very cool to cycle. Not as good as a Lee Enfield to cycle, but they're still good. Yeah, I know what the Mark V is. It's the one everybody moaned about because apparently the Zero would wander due to the wood warping. Right, does anybody have any proper questions? I'm going to flick that light off now because it's shining in my eye. It is 7.5 Swiss, I believe, Daniel. You might have to Google it, but I think it's 7.5 Swiss, they call it. But it's like 7.5 X55 or something. But generally, they're just called like Rubin rifle rounds. Right, the person that keeps asking things that they could just Google, I'm blocking because I'm getting really fed up of this now of what is this, what is that, when there's a thing called Google. What are you on about, military and surplus? Right, let me do that quickly now, Hardrimmer. Is this the Widowmaker or is this another one? Let's have a look. This is German submarine. Or Soviet whiskey class submarine. Or one that ran aground. Okay, yeah. I think I vaguely know that story, but I know there's a lot of stuff in the Cold War, isn't there, of submarines running aground, planes crashing, that sort of stuff. No, I didn't hear that military in surplus, but I don't see how it's relevant to this video. I'm just going to make it obvious to people. Sometimes I can get quite fed up when people keep asking questions that have nothing to do with what this YouTube channel's about. To the point I think maybe I should just block them so they don't waste everybody's time on the stream. Because, you know, people come on here to generally talk about military surplus and, you know, like guns, knives, those sort of things. So when people start talking about kids climbing mountains, it's not really relevant at all, is it? Just like the guy spamming questions where he could just Google them. Right, what I want to just do, though, is go on that radiation conversion site. Right, and then I want to search up when it's... How many digits does this have? So it's 0.0000 centigrade an hour. So let's put that in as 0.9999 centigrade per hour and see what radiation converter says it is. Because I'd have thought you can't have 4 zeros. I know a centigrade is different than a milligrade and everything, but I'm quite weirded out by this now, actually thinking about this. So 0.9999, convert me. So apparently that's 9,999 microsieverts, or 999.9 millirem, or 9.999 millisieverts, or 1.14 Rontgen. See, I'd have thought that would have gone way higher, that counter, than 1.14 Rontgen. That seems way too low. Now, ask again, Marcus, if you remember. Right, if people want to know what videos I've got coming up, asking what, Hardrummer? Because a lot of the people asking are just asking questions that they could easily Google, not interesting questions. No Bolding Towski, because when they max out, they literally max out. It's like what the interface does. If it goes to 0.99999, it's not going to go any higher. So let's have a look at the videos I've got coming out soon, just for people who want to know what's coming up. So the video tomorrow, Wednesday, is the one on the poorly designed jet lighter. That purple one called the Job On, or whatever it's called. That purple gas one. This one. That's a video coming out on this finally on Wednesday. The video on Friday is the Strong M50G, that Chinese half-face respirator with the voice diaphragm, which is a cool mask. The video on the PDRM82D on that's on Friday, no, Sunday. And on Wednesday next week, masks I'm currently using for Corona. Yeah, video on this, Daniel. Which is good, except for the stupid fact of how the gas cut-off system works. I'll actually have a look at adjusting the gas system on this. Can I put any higher just for shits and giggles? Did I put that screwdriver away again earlier? Yeah, I did. Okay. I might even need a bigger one than this. Oh no, that's turning. Okay. So that looks like it's as far as it will go. Oh, that's pretty damn big flame, isn't it, on max? And we're probably out of gas already, I assume, or it's got too cold from there. Too much gas. Phillips. Yeah, I assume it won't go any further that way. I mean, obviously, it's not practical on that much because it's not going to last very long before it runs down, but... Will it stay on like this? That's sort of staying on. That's quite a practical size if you just want a big flame. Yeah, the thing is though, Mike, I think if you wanted one of those actual blowtorch ones, you'd go for like, well, I've got one somewhere in this room, I think. You know, the ones that are actually like a mini blowtorch. Because the thing is, there's a lot of stuff that's good about this lighter. It's just the stupid ignition system. If this was actually replaced with just a depress button that you could then lock down, it'd be quite good. But the problem with this one is just the fact that it has a design where it drains in your pocket if it knocks against anything. I'm sure it wouldn't really matter if I'd blown myself up, Daniel. What they write after me after I'm dead. Well, you just turn it down, don't you, to the point where the flame's not that big. But yeah, there's no practical reason for having the flames that big, and it uses the gas too quickly. I just find it funny. Well, Synthfrost, the video comes out on it tomorrow, and as I said, unfortunately, it has a fatal design flaw. I'm still waiting for some questions that aren't, have you done a video on this, for people too lazy to search the channel. Alright, see you, Doska. Alright, Miss Valadez, are you alright? I might not be on that much longer because at the moment there doesn't seem to be that many people actually asking questions about anything. Because, you know, if there were more people asking interesting questions, I'd definitely stay on longer. But at the moment, it's mostly people saying, have you done a video on this? Because they can't be bothered to search my channel. Or asking, what is this? Because they literally don't know how to use Google. Yeah, I'm all right, Miss Valadez, thank you. As I said, it's just the stream tonight's been one of those streams where people haven't really asked very interesting questions. It's all just been spam kind of shit. I would never recommend that Justin Vapor, just because in the UK that would definitely get you done. No, I do not have a deactivated MG42. If I got one, I'd probably have done videos on it, but I don't have one. Deactivated MG42s are also like several grand. They're just stupidly expensive for something that's never going to work. Oh, cool, Daniel. I'll look after this stream. I didn't think to look on eBay because lots of gun stuff can't be sold on eBay over here. But yeah. I'll get rid of the person who's shitting on our country. Right, I'll just make this clear to people. There's lots of rules in the UK that are a bit stupid, but if you're one of those people like, everybody should shoot each other in the UK, then it'd be more democratic. Fuck off. Just the same thing as I wouldn't let people talk shit about other people's countries on here either, or religions or whatever else. It's just really frustrating when, people don't understand the laws of the UK, and rather than look them up, they then start going like, oh, you're a country of cucks, can't even defend yourself. No, I don't really have any interest in field radios. Closest I have to that is one of those like little tiny, like walkie-talkie type aerials, but one you can pick up loads and loads of sort of bands on. I think a lot of people enjoy making model planes. Personally, I never really got into it, but I do get why people would find it interesting. Yeah, country accent mystic gamer. Gonna drink some moonshine. I don't really know much about it, Apache Heli. Is that the one? Obviously, I'm judging by the name. It's a powered air respirator thingy. If it's made by Avon, it's probably quite good. I just don't have any much interest in Papas myself, and obviously modern Avon stuff is well out of my budget range. Yeah, no, straight 60s. I'm just saying it because it was, one of those people that blatantly seem to be doing the thing of, in America, everything's so great, ignoring the fact in America, how many people just get randomly shot for no reason. Well, is that on a motorbike, Miss Valadez, or what? You have to be going, must be a pretty damn fast motorbike if you're going 180 mile per hour. Yeah, Mike, that's why when I say stuff about the CCP now, I obviously try and say like Chinese Communist Party, not Chinese people, it's that sort of thing. I would rather they be a bit more relaxed military bushcraft island, but the thing is that at least how they are at the moment, you're not really going to have somebody go to a school shooting, are you? It's that sort of thing, But it's again, I don't like it when people start having a go at random people in the country because of like Mike was saying, because of a law, Is hoi Czech, Matt Edge? Is that Czech for hello? Hoi. That's about the only word I know in Czech, if so. Or is the Czech word for hello something different? But I know like hoi and hey are like quite common words across a lot of languages for hello. Oh, it's ahoy or hahoj, or is it ahoy? But like ahoy is like a naval thing as well, isn't it? Like ahoy there. But yeah, cool. Which one's an AGV helmet? Let me Google it. I'll probably be off in 5 minutes. All right, a type of motorcycle helmet. I don't really know much about motorbike helmets because obviously I don't use motorbikes. The thing is with motorbike helmets, you can use them as riot helmets, so they are kind of versatile like that. Personally, I think if you use motorbikes and then you get a motorbike helmet, it'd probably be a damn good riot helmet. But I wouldn't really want a riot helmet for riding on a motorbike, if that makes sense, because I guess motorbike helmets are less likely to snap your neck if you fall off at high speed. But the point is that if you're into motorbikes, get a good motorbike helmet. Best design helmet of World War II, maybe the Soviet SSH-40. Weirdly, because if you watch ballistic tests on World War II helmets, the Soviet SSH-40 helmets are actually pretty tough. Plus, they give good head coverage. Where, like, as everybody loves the German helmets, they're actually really shit steel. So if you watch people shoot German helmets, as much as I wouldn't want to shoot an antique, 9mm goes for them. They're not very good ballistically. They wouldn't stop much shrapnel. Yeah, that's the annoying thing, isn't it? Straight 60s, all that. It's not just with Soviet stuff. Like, it's the same with a lot of British military radiological equipment, for example. A lot of it they never really released info on. You can sometimes find them online, but you can't find info on them unless you buy them and play about with them. Every World War II helmet is only designed for shrapnel, but some would also stop bullets. But the problem is, like I was saying, that everybody seems to have a hard-on for German World War II helmets, but they weren't that good. They were very good for head coverage, but the problem was that they get penetrated very easily. US M1 helmets are also very good. Italian, is it M33 helmets? I can't remember the name of them. They're also very good. British Mark III helmets are all right. Why is every single one of Torrin's questions showing up as spam? I'll have to allow it, but yeah, another mod's allowed it. You could, in theory, stick a hose in a PMG if that's what you're asking, but that's not what they're really like. They were designed to have a filter just sit directly on the side. In all honesty, though, Swiss M18 helmets were probably the best ones, saying that, because although they were a bit bulky, Swiss helmets are made with very, very good steel quality, apparently. Anyway, I'll be off now. Thanks, everybody that's been commenting properly on this stream. As I said, I do just get annoyed when people keep spamming things like, have you done video on X, when they could search it, or people just saying, what is this, when it's literally something they could Google and find a Wikipedia page on, especially when it's not even related to like Geiger counters or anything like that. It's like, why are you asking me random questions you could Google? But yeah, thanks, everybody. I will be on tomorrow, but as I said, tomorrow I will be streaming early afternoon UK time because I won't have a chance to do a stream in the evening. When you say motor-powered filters, do you mean Papa Systems Apache Heli? Again, they're good if you're not very good at breathing normally, but for most people, Papa Systems are pretty useless. I will tomorrow, Daniel, because I've got some on order, but I've not got any whiskey at the moment. When I get some tomorrow, I'll probably have a good shot of it in the evening. But thanks, everybody. Right, see you tomorrow then, I guess, for most of you. Bye.